Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Friends, let us all study, investigate, and practice the real words of the Buddha. Real words of the Buddha means the very words of the Buddha. You know, the Buddha lived in the 6th century BC. By the time Buddha taught Dhamma for 45 years after his attainment of enlightenment, he visited different places, going through highways, byways in India. He taught this Dhamma to the people from all walks of life. As the Buddha taught the Dhamma, he taught this Dhamma through his own experience, which is called experiential wisdom. He shared his wisdom with the people. That Dhamma is for the purpose of purification of beings, for the overcoming of sorrow and lamentation, for the disappearance of pain and grief, for the entering of the path, the noble eightfold path, and for the attainment of full bliss of Nibbana. This Dhamma is to be understood properly, clearly. In order to understand this Dhamma, one has to study, investigate, do one's own exploration of the very discourses taught by the Buddha. These are given in the original discourses. Original discourses means the lone discourses of the Buddha. There are collections, different collections. Lone discourses of the Buddha. Middle-length teachings of the Buddha. Connected discourses of the Buddha. Numerical discourses of the Buddha, and minor anthologies. These are the different 5 collections of the very words of the Buddha. Those are the discourses to be studied, investigated, and practiced accordingly. If we can read these different discourses taught by the Buddha, the so-called original teachings, early teaching of the Buddha, we can understand clearly what the Buddha exactly taught us. After passing away of the Buddha, what happened? Many different types of thoughts, ideas, opinions, misguiding thoughts arose in the Sasana dispensation. Many different literature, what you call Buddhist literature. There are volumes of Buddhist literature after passing away of the Buddha. For the last 2,500 years, many different thoughts, many books, volumes of books came to exist in the name of the teaching of the Buddha, but those are not the real words of the Buddha. So therefore, if one wants to understand what the Buddha really taught, one has to study the Dhamma confirmed and well established by the 500 Arahants at the first council, which was held after 3 months after passing away of the Buddha. That is the way to understand the real words of the Buddha. We are talking about that Dhamma, the real words of the Buddha from the original discourses. Tonight, we have a special discourse from Samyutta Nikaya, the connected discourses of the Buddha. The discourse number is Connected Discourses, chapter 35, discourse number 132, number 9. The name of the discourse is Lohicca Sutta. Lohicca Sutta. Tonight our topic is based on this discourse. The topic is how to guard your sense doors. How to guard your sense doors. You know, we have 6 sense doors, not 5. Most people think we have only 5 senses. The most important one is missing for them, which is the mind. You know, the mind itself is a sense. It's a sense door. So we have 6 sense doors. In other words, 6 sense bases. These senses are to be guarded by humans. Only humans can do this, not animals. Neither animal, no hungry ghost, no other beings. But humans can guard these 6 sense doors, 6 sense bases. Eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and the mind. Those are the 6. There's a discourse here to understand how to do that. You know, the Buddha and his immediate disciples delivered the very words of the Buddha. This particular one is, this discourse, Lohicca Sutta, was delivered by Venerable Mahakachayana. Venerable Mahakachayana. Mahakachayana was a great monastic, a great monk, one of the chief disciples of the Buddha. Let's understand this discourse. Let's read this and understand. On one occasion, the Venerable Mahakachayana was dwelling among the people of Avanti in a forest hut at Makkarakata. He was dwelling among the people of Avanti in a forest hut, cell, a small kuti. He was living in a kuti, in a cell, which was in the forest. Now, then a number of Brahmin youths, students of the Brahmin Lohicca. So now it is clear, Lohicca means one of the Brahmins. He was a teacher of many students. He had many students. Now the students of this Brahmin, Lohicca, they went to collect firewood in the forest. While collecting firewood, approached the Venerable Mahakachayana's forest hut. They approached there, Venerable Mahakachayana's hut. Having approached, they stopped and trampled. They stormed and trampled all around the hut. They started boistering in a boisterous and noisy manner. They played various pranks, saying, These shaveling ascetics, menial, worthy offsprings of the Lord's feet. Here Lord's feet means they believed God, the Creator, Brahma. They denigrated the Venerable Mahakachayana, saying that they are the offsprings of the Lord's feet. That's how they believed. They are honored, respected, esteemed, worshipped and venerated by their servile devotees. That is what they said, the students. They insulted, they blamed, started, they did many things wrong around the Venerable Kachayana's kuti. Loud noise. Then the Venerable Mahakachayana came out of his dwelling and said to those Brahmin youths, Don't make any noise, boys. I will speak to you on the Dhamma. That is what he said. Venerable Kachayana said. When this was said, those youths became silent. Then the Venerable Mahakachana addressed those youths with verses. He said, "For one with sense doors unguarded, all the vows he undertakes are vain. Just like the wealth a man gains in a dream, fasting and sleeping on the ground, bathing at dawn, study of the three Vedas." Those are the traditions of Brahmins. Rough hides, matted locks, matted hairs, and dirt. Hymns, rules, and vows, austerities, hypocrisy, bent staffs, ablutions. Early morning Brahmins take ablutions, take shower. They immersed in the water and take shower early morning. Those are the traditions. Those are sort of cults. They are daily routine. These emblems of the Brahmins are used to increase their worldly gains. That is what he said. He further said, a mind that is well concentrated, clear and free from blemish, tended towards all sentient beings, that is the path for attaining Brahma. Attaining Brahma world. Because they believed that they were created by Brahma. They got the soul from Brahma. That soul is to be purified. With the purification of that soul, one day after their death, their soul is unified with the Brahma. That is what they believe. So that is why Venerable Mahakachana here said that if they practice in this manner, having concentrated mind, clear and free from blemish, tender towards all sentient beings, extending love towards all beings, they can attain that stage which is called unification with the Brahma. Then those Brahmin youths, angry and displeased, approached the Brahmin Lohicca and told him, "See now, sir, you should know that the ascetic Mahakachana categorically denigrates and scorns the hymns of the Brahmins." That is what they said. They went to the teacher and they complained, reported. They complained saying this particular ascetic Mahakachana is categorically denigrating and scorns the hymns of the Brahmins. That's what he said, what the student said. When this was said, The Brahmin Lohicca was angry and displeased. But then, this is very important, he was angry and displeased. But then it occurred to him, it is not proper for me to abuse and revile the ascetic Mahakachana solely on the basis of what I have heard from these youths. Let me approach him and inquire. That is the wise way to take decisions, you see. We should not take decisions simply by listening to others, simply understanding only the one side of the picture. We should understand clearly. We should take decisions after contemplating, understanding the both sides. He thought that it is not proper for me to take the decision to go and blame him, insult him, simply, mainly with the basis of what I have heard from these youths. So he thought, let me approach him and inquire. Then the Brahmin Lohicca, together with those Brahmin youths, approached the Venerable Mahakachana. He exchanged greetings with the Venerable Mahakachana, and when they had concluded their greetings and cordial talk, he sat down to one side and said to him, Master Kachana, did a number of Brahmin youths, my students, came this way while collecting firewood? They did, Brahmin. Venerable Mahakachana said, they did, Brahmin, means they came here. Did Master Kachana have any conversation with them? I did have a conversation with them, Brahmin. Venerable Mahakachana said. What kind of conversation did you have with them, Master Kachana? The conversation I had with those youths was like this. Now, Venerable Mahakachana explains what the type of conversation that he had with the youths. He said, those men of old who excelled in virtue, that is the nature of the olden days. Though they were Brahmins, whoever, they lived a virtuous life, excelled in virtue. Those Brahmins who recalled the ancient rules, they tended towards all beings, to all sentient beings, good thoughts. That is the path for attaining Brahma. At the same verses he taught. He explained the type of conversation he had with the youths, the students. Such was the conversation that I had with those youths, Venerable Mahakachana said. So, olden days, the Brahmins, they had very peaceful life. They did not destroyed life. They did not steal, did not commit adultery. They had some norms. They had their own virtues. That is what he said. Then he said, Master Kachana said, with sense doors unguarded. Where? Venerable Mahakachana used this term. With sense doors unguarded. As the Brahmins, as those whoever had unguarded doors, they do wrong things. Venerable Mahakachana said, explained in the qualities, whoever had sense doors unguarded, they did wrong things. Now, this teacher, Lohicca, picked this word, sense doors unguarded. And he asked this question, in what way Master Kachana is one with sense doors unguarded? That he wants to know how one's sense doors are unguarded. Venerable Mahakachana, Master Kachana says, here Brahmin, having seen a form with the eye, having seen a form with the eye. This is our topic. Now we have to be mindful, you have to give full attention and understand what you call unguarded sense doors and guarded. How to guard these sense doors. Having seen a form with the eye, someone is intent upon a pleasing form and repelled by a displeasing form. This is because of not guarding the senses, not guarding the eye. Having seen a form with the eye, someone is intent upon a pleasing form and repelled by a displeasing form. One should not please the senses in such a way. Both pleasing and repelling, both are wrong. He dwells without having set up mindfulness of the body. With the limited mind, and he does not understand as it really is that liberation of mind, liberation by wisdom, wherein those evil, unwholesome states cease without remainder. That is what happened to the person who has not guarded sense doors. If one is not guarded his eyes, this is what is happening. Not only the eyes, having heard a sound with the ear, then having smelled a smell through the nose, having tasted a taste to the tongue, having tangible, tactile objects to the body, and also having a thought, having cognized a mental phenomenon with the mind. If someone is intent upon pleasing the senses, these six sense bases, or repelled by displeasing, he dwells without having set up mindfulness of the body, sees without remainder. It is in such a way, Brahmin, that one is with sense doors unguarded. That is the answer. He wanted to know what is called sense doors unguarded. So we have 6 sense bases, 6 sense doors. Whenever we see the object, whenever we hear the object, smell, taste, tangible, or thought, if we are not mindful, we have tendency to grasp it with desire, with craving. That grasping is the grasping of the aggregate. We grasp 5 aggregates in such a way: form, feeling, perception, volitional formation, and consciousness. We grasp this through the eyes, through the ears, through the nose, through the tongue, through the body, and through the mind. That grasping, the Buddha said, grasping is suffering. The grasping of these 5 groups, 5 aggregates, affected by clinging, is suffering, the Buddha said. So having heard this explanation of what you call sense, with sense doors unguarded, being pleased to the words of Venerable Mahakachana, Lohicca says, "It is wonderful, Master Kachana, it is amazing, Master Kachana, how Master Kachana has declared one whose sense doors are actually unguarded to be one with sense doors unguarded." But Master Kachana said, with sense doors guarded. He picked another term, another phrase from the words of Venerable Mahakachana. He says, as Master Kachana said, with sense doors guarded, sense doors guarded. So now he wants to understand that, with sense doors guarded. In what way Master Kachana is one with sense doors guarded? That is his question now. Venerable Mahakachyana says, here Brahmin, having seen a form, now this is how to put the Dhamma into practice. This is the way to guard our senses. Having seen a form with the eye, we see different forms. When we see forms, having seen a form with the eyes, someone is not intent upon a pleasing form and not repelled by a displeasing form. Having seen the object through the eyes, one should not try to please due to craving, desire, urge, thirst. One should not please to that. That is what is called grasping. One should not grasp it, should not cling to it, cling to the form. Having seen the form through the eyes, one should not cling to that form, should not grasp that form as mine, me, myself. That is the way to grasp. But it is wrong. That is why one has to suffer. So the Buddha's advice is not to grasp in such a way. Not only grasping, neither grasping nor repelled. One should not repulsion. Neither grasping nor repulsion. Both are wrong. Both are not the dharmic way, not the Dhamma way. It is the adhamma, adharmic way. So, one should not please form in such a way and not repelled by a displeasing form. So, neither pleasing nor displeasing the form. That is the way to practice. He dwells having set up mindfulness of the body with a measureless mind, immeasurable mind. And he understands as it really is that liberation of mind. As such, as he has no repulsion, no pleasing, he comes to the state of calmness, equanimity. He sees insight. As the result, his mind comes to the states of measureless, immeasurable, measureless mind. And then he understands as it really is what is called liberation of mind, Cheto Vimukti, liberation by wisdom, Panya Vimukti, wherein those evil, unwholesome states cease without remainderlessly. Without remainder means remainderlessly unwholesome states come to the cessation. That is the meaning. Through the eyes, you come to the state of pacification, peacefulness, bliss. Not only through the eyes, having heard a sound with the ear, then having heard, having smelled with nose, having tasted through the tongue, having tangible through the body, and having cognized a mental phenomenon with the mind. So through the six sense bases, all the six. Someone is not intent upon a pleasing mental phenomenon and not repelled by a displeasing mental phenomenon. Instead, he dwells, having set up mindfulness of the body, sees without remainder. It is in such a way, Brahmin, that one is with sense doors guarded. That is how one has to guard one's senses. Now, in our daily life, while we are walking, while we are standing somewhere, while we are sitting somewhere, or while we are wakefully lying down, thoughts arise. Thoughts are basically, we have three types of thoughts. Discursive thoughts. These are called discursive thoughts. Proliferative thoughts. Discursive thoughts. These thoughts are sensual thoughts, ill will thoughts, or cruelty thoughts. Those are the thoughts. We have to categorize them. Whenever such thoughts arise, we have to understand what type of thoughts are arising. Whether they are sensual thoughts, means whether they are worldly, referring to worldly matters, worldly things, unwholesome things, then what should be done? We should not hang on. We should not stay with them. We should not please such thoughts. Whenever we have such thoughts, we should not accept them. We should not please them. We should not welcome them. Buddha said, do not welcome them. Nadhivaseti. Nadhivaseti. Pajahati, instead, pajahati. Give it up. Do not welcome. Do not grasp them. Such thoughts. Let them go. Pajahati. Give up. Abandon. Vinodeti. Bhante karoti. Cut off. Anabhavangameti. Totally obliterate them. Anabhavangameti. That is the instruction, admonition of our Buddha. That is the way to practice vipassana. We are talking about meditation. That is the way to practice vipassana. In order to practice this, we have to have good concentration and mindfulness. Mindfulness blended with clear comprehension. So in such a way, we can guard our six sense doors. Venerable Mahakachan explained this in this manner. And then Lohicca, the Brahmin, said, "It is wonderful, Master Kachana. It is amazing, Master Kachana, how Master Kachana has declared one whose sense doors are actually guarded to be one with sense doors guarded. Magnificent Master Kachana, magnificent Master Kachana. The Dhamma has been made clear in many ways by Master Kachana. As through the Master Kachana, magnificent Master Kachana, magnificent Master Kachana. The Dhamma has been made clear in many ways by Master Kachana, as though he were turning upright what had been turned upside down, revealing what was hidden, showing the way to one who was lost, or holding up a lamp in the dark for those with eyesight to see forms." That is how he appreciated. From today, let Master Kachan remember me as a lay follower who has gone for refuge for life. Let Master Kachan approach the Lohicca family just as he approaches the families of the lay followers in Makkarakata. That is his invitation. The Brahmin youths and maidens there will pay homage to Master Kachana. They will stand up for him out of respect. They will offer him a seat and water, and that will lead to their welfare and happiness for a long time. That was his invitation to Venerable Mahakachana. He invited him to visit his home too, his family too, as Venerable Kachana used to go from house to house, begin house to house, collecting his alms. Lohicca invited Venerable Mahakachana to visit his place as well, so that the students, the youths and maidens themselves could offer something to Venerable Mahakachana. So he taught this Dhamma. Venerable Mahakachana taught this Dhamma, how to practice, how to guard these 6 sense doors. Let's all try to understand this wonderful teaching of the Buddha. Let's study this, investigate, practice this Dhamma in our daily life, so that we can realize real peace, real happiness of Nibbana here in this very world. May we all realize that real peace, real happiness of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.